The crisis hitting Florida just reset the housing market for every person waiting for prices to plummet.
We've got Kevin O'Leary back with us, O'Leary Ventures Chairman, Shark Tank investor.
It doesn't matter what the governor says. New York was already a loser state. Like California is a loser state. There are many loser states because of policy, high taxes, uncompetitive regulation. It was already on the top of the list of being a loser state. I would never invest in New York now, and I'm not the only person saying that.
We thought this year was the opportunity to come into Chicago, California, and New York City. I've been waiting for 40 years now to invest in that marketplace. I was completely confident, Steve, this was the year to come. And when that ruling happened, it was like pencils down, don't touch it, don't go there.
Prominent investors have signaled their intent to halt their business in New York following the $355 million verdict in former President Donald Trump's civil fraud case.
But I'll tell you what, you fuck around and find out.
Grant Cardone, Kevin O'Leary, Donald Trump, and even some guy named Chicago Ray. These are the folks behind the massive push, an influx in interested businesses, buyers, and investors. All the like and everything in between, they are heading south. And they're coming down from states like New York and sanctuary cities like Chicago and New York City. And where are they headed? Florida. And for what reason? Why? To buy up all the real estate that they possibly can. They've got billions and billions of dollars of cash available and ready to deploy into the markets. And the mayor of New York City, Eric Adams, New York State Governor Kathy Hochul, well, they have incentivized everyone in one way or another to take their money and their talents and head to South Beach. Okay, well, maybe not South Beach, but it was just too great of an opportunity not to plug an old LeBron James viral media clip when he decided to ditch the Cleveland Cavaliers and his home state of Ohio, which is where he grew up in Akron, relocating his family to the Sunshine State, the state of endless summer, heading to Miami to play ball and win championships with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh and Coach Eric Spoelstra. But if you think about it, it's almost kind of like the exact same situation. You have high value talent with the opportunity to invest and build something great. And your choices are between deciding to pour money and capital into a dying town or make the smart move and maximize the overall return on your investment. And drive the greatest upside in a thriving city that already shows signs of promise and is heading towards heavy discounts. My friends, the writing's on the wall here. We are witnessing the reset happening right now between our own very eyes.
Ask not what the Great Reset can do for you. Ask what you can do for the Great Reset.
And the fundamental principles are simple and clear. I mean, it doesn't exactly take a rocket scientist to know that by leaving one place which you and pretty much everybody else considers to be less than desirable, for whatever reason it may be, to go somewhere else where you're going to have the maximum near-term future upside, and not only buying power, politics, and policy, but more importantly, to maximize every single penny. As New York has proven themselves in the current situation and how they've chosen to handle immigration, the recent verdict handed down to Donald Trump and the entire Airbnb short-term investor market, while making states like Texas and Florida shine as the amazingly attractive places to be naturally. And what have we recently seen coming from the likes of some of the world's wealthiest ranked on the Forbes 100 list? Jeff Bezos, who just relocated from the Pacific Northwest to come to Florida not only to be closer to his parents and where he spent some of his childhood growing up, but more importantly to avoid massive state income tax and capital gains taxes for the billions and billions and billions of dollars that he received from the sale of shares from the company he founded, Amazon. which has recently seen a massive surge in valuation, spiking up 76% in the past year, after having sold and even given away shares in his ongoing quest for philanthropy. But that's just Jeff Bezos. What do you think Kevin O'Leary, Grant Cardone, and many other wealthy, affluent investors with loads of cash behind them, what are they coming to Florida to do? Well, let's talk about it. Watching Chris Igoe, thanks for tuning in. Hit the thumbs up, it really helps the channel. So, Redfin published on Valentine's Day that investors bought 26% of the country's most affordable homes in the fourth quarter, which happens to be the highest share on record. And to put that in perspective, that's a little bit over 1 every 4 homes listed on the market, which is getting bought up by institutional buyers. Institutional money, big money, all cash, no finance contingencies, which means they are not concerned about Big Papa Powell, Jerome Powell. They aren't worried about the Fed, and they certainly are not concerned about the recent spike in mortgage interest rates, which has already caused a massive slowdown. CNBC reported mortgage demand takes a massive hit as interest rates cross back over 7%. And how the average contract interest rate for 30-year fixed-rate mortgages with conforming loan balances increased to over 7%. And yet applications to refinance a home loan dropped 11% last week, and applications for a mortgage to purchase a home fell 10% too. A major problem exacerbated by inflation and wage growth happening in 2 different cycles, and according to Bank of America CEO Brian Moynihan, right now, American consumers are being pulled in 2 very opposite directions by rising prices that threaten consumption on one side, and by low unemployment and rising wages that are fueling growth in the other. As he explains why you better get used to mortgage rates of 6 or 7%. Potentially even much higher. Just like he and Jerome Powell and my parents experienced in the 80s, when a home loan would run you upwards of 18%. Here, look at the chart. Investor market share activity is trending up, and the orange indicates huge interest in low price and affordable homes. So when you hear sharks talking about loser states and loser cities, and Cardone Capital halting all underwriting and moving all their money to Florida, well, it can only mean one thing. And yesterday I got a phone call from someone just like you. They found me on YouTube and they're looking to purchase a home. And predictably, they want the maximum amount for the sale of their home, and yet they want to buy a home that's on the southwest coast, very close to the city, right next to the beach, brand new construction, and more importantly, they want to buy this brand new construction home in one of the hottest markets in Southwest Florida. They want to buy this for half price. At which point I threw my hands up in the air and I said to myself, you're hunting for a unicorn. There is no possibility that you're getting a brand new construction home with all the things that you want, in the location that you want, right next to the beach in the next year. 0% chance that's happening. You're better off looking to buy a unicorn, because you're far more likely to find that. And to be clear, there is distress in the market. And the only time you will ever find a deal is when there is a crisis, when the seller is suffering from tremendous financial, economic, or personal pain. And at some point in the future, when there are crises, there will be more distress and more deals. But the truth is, the odds of the average person being able to scoop up one of those deals in front of an institutional buyer is damn near 0. Because Wall Street and the institutions are going to win 10 out of 10 times. And make no mistake, this is putting the squeeze on buyers, and sellers are feeling that pain. In fact, it's gotten so bad that renting has become the new American dream. And sidelined buyers are willing to pay a few hundred more for rent rather than a few thousand more for a mortgage. And please do not get me started on the whole homeowner insurance disaster that only adds insult to injury. But guess what? These big money corporations, they don't care because of the massive bankroll they have to self-insure. And this chart shows the latest Q4 home purchases. And if you look here, you will see Miami, Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, and Fort Lauderdale, Florida topping the list. It's already happening, but I suspect it's only going to get worse. So as affordable homes become less available and investors buy up more and more Florida real estate, the rental home and apartment and multifamily sector will begin to see increased competition and demand, which will likely start ticking up in price, application scrutiny, income requirements, credit score rating standards, and so on and so forth. Now, I know you've all seen it and you've probably heard it before, but I'm here to tell you the truth. And that is Florida rent price is still higher than the national average. Renting in Florida is expensive, but if it's not exactly getting better, it's getting worse. And don't just take it from me, because the reason why Florida rent is so expensive is overwhelming demand. And Florida has seen an influx of new residents over the last few years, even being labeled the fastest growing state in 2022. Florida was especially popular during the pandemic when people could work remotely and they no longer had to live near their office. And they were free to move to warmer climates. Plus, there's 825 miles of sandy beaches and, of course, the lack of state income tax. And some people moved here before and after the pandemic, specifically because they like Governor Ron DeSantis and the way he handled masks and vaccine mandates, along with other Republican goals. But the results are in, and what happens next is going to be very bad for some folks, but potentially good for others who are staying close, paying attention, and in the know. And the easiest way to do that is simple and free. Subscribe to the channel, allow notifications, and stay tuned right here with me, Chris Igoe. Because as you can see, the housing market crash is making its way over to the rental market and creeping in on buyers who decided to take time off and rest. But as you can see here, right now, Miami is one of the most expensive places to live and has a median rent of almost $3,000 a month. Tampa, Florida was slightly more affordable, coming in right around $2,100 a month. But that number is likely to change in the near future as more and more folks migrate down south and relocate to states like Florida to avoid the craziness that's happening right now all over the country, and specifically in places like New York City. So expect to see insanity and expect for affordable home buyers to be blocked out by all cash buyers, because these folks are bringing big businesses with them and also employees and also a workforce that will be looking to buy up affordable housing and real estate all over South Florida. And folks, let's face it, what's coming next is not going to be good, because recession indicators are still being presented as being good. Lots of layoff announcements pushing in the direction of running into some likelihood of a multitude of issues, which come from higher unemployment, which inevitably leads to much higher defaults. Watch what's coming, folks. If you know the great indicators or research companies that handle bankruptcy research, they will give us a very good insight into what's going to come our way. But you've got to know, we have record high amounts on credit cards. Credit card debt right now looks like it's straight vertical. This is a leading indicator. That is a sign of the public's health literally getting by on borrowed time. And couple that with the auto delinquencies and the rest, and we're going to have a very interesting 2024 on our hands. But not to worry, don't fear, don't stress, If you're in the Boynton Beach market, if you're in Southeast Palm Beach County, if you are looking to buy here, it's still under $600,000. But the most affordable areas of Florida are still a push to get in. And the same thing could be said about the southwest coast of Florida, but there are buying opportunities all across the state of Florida, and the market is always good for someone. But look out for number one, look out for yourself. Make sure you've got a long-term plan, ensure you've got good savings, ensure you're doing the right thing for yourself. Only do whatever is right for you. And if you're thinking about buying or selling, please know that we are a full-time, full-service real estate team of professionals that specialize in finding the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anyone else, irrespective of market conditions. And if you're thinking about buying, we will absolutely find your dream home and dream lifestyle and negotiate the best deal humanly possible. Check me out at igoehomegroup.com, and once again, thanks for watching.